Racers. Welcome to the Raise Hail Praise Dale podcast. I am Voodoo.
I'm JT Dallas.
And we got some fancy old high octane, super cool, amazing, best race of the world, Bristol, to talk about.
Did you go with
In case you weren't
JP?
adherent to my sarcasm, Bristol was very boring.
I mean, it's kind of like, why are you going out of focus? You can do it. There we go. It's kind of, you made me think of a little jingle. I think it's for NyQuil. Best sleep with a cold. That race might as well have been NyQuil, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
No sponsorship deals there. We also got some other stuff to talk about, but I mean, we do got some races this weekend, but no cup race to talk about still.
Yeah.
But it is Easter, so happy Easter to those that celebrate it.
Yes, sir.
Without further ado, we're going to hit that intro.
Jump on in. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. That's the worst feeling in the world, is when you can feel a sneeze like right there, but you can't just get it out. Oh,
I don't know what it is you're talking about, sir.
Anyway, you know what I really want to talk about? That post-race breakdown.
That's a pretty nice place to start, isn't it?
Show is. Let's talk about some weather guard trucks. Of course, the purse is the same as it has been.
Indeed.
Hang on, I will read the notes better when I can actually see out of my glasses. Which is $782,900. You can put those last three digits in my bank account, and I will be more than happy.
Right.
You
can take
Daniel
the
Hemrick.
third digit there and just give me that as a single digit, and I'll still be happy. You're moving too fast.
Here in Oklahoma, allergies are in full effect.
Now.
Oh, I finally got it out. But like I said, I was talking to Voodoo before the show, and allergies are in full effect here in Oklahoma. In fact, I washed my truck, which I have a black truck, and it only took about an hour to turn yellow. Green, yellow, same thing. But
it's yellow. Pollen's yellow.
Yeah, see, thank you. But if I sneeze throughout this whole episode, I'm sorry, guys. I'm battling allergies.
Absolutely unacceptable.
I know. Deduct points from me. Anyway, we got the Daniel Hemrick taking the pole. There were no DNQs, though. And surprisingly, no one was to the rear. That's been an odd case this past couple races. So
right. Usually at least been a few.
Chandler Smith took stage 1, and Bailey Curry, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I think it's
took
Curry.
stage. I think so. But they took stage 2. In the first 5 of the top 10 are Chandler Smith taking first. Oh my lord. Kyle Larson in the double. Oh my god.
Because then we got a graphic for y'all. Y'all can see what he's supposed to be saying. I remember when we used to do this and we didn't have a graphic.
Oh my lord, I feel so. It's no wonder we didn't have anybody watch. Then I really wanted to say 007, but it's just the 07. Came in second. Corey Hyman in the 11 came in third. Tyler Ankrum in the 18 came in fourth. And Ben Rhodes in the 99 came in fifth.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like your mic is either louder than it usually is, or
I don't know.
You also seem to be like lagging a little bit every now and then.
Yeah. My Wi-Fi is being stupid today.
We'll be all right. We'll make it through. Rounding out your top 10, starting in 6th place, you got the 34 of Lane Riggs, followed by the 13 of Jake Garcia in 7th. 8th place went to Caden Honeycutt in that 45 truck. And then Mr. Roger Carruth making another appearance in the top 10, coming in 9th. And then Mr. I just came up from ARCA, getting the top 10, Mr. Giovanni Ruggiero in that 17. And of course, we got a couple of podcast drivers that we like to follow. First up being Tony Breidinger in that number 5 truck. She came in 25th. And then Mr. Frankie Muniz had another rough week, coming in 31st in that 33 truck.
Yes, sir. Moving on to Xfinity.
Well, we got the Xfinity fastest lap. We didn't talk about that yet.
Oh, that's what I was reading. Of course, Kyle Larson thought it would be hilarious to show all these guys fighting for it. What the fastest lap looked like. He did not get the sweep, but he got close.
He didn't get the sweep on anything. Like, he only got the pole in one race. He only got the fastest lap in 2 races. He only got a stage win in 1 race. No, he got stage wins in 2 different races.
Yeah.
He only won 2 races. So. Sorry, Joker, you can't perform a sweep. Your second chance at it, and failed both times.
Man, did you see his interview? I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but did you see his interview about how he said he loves coming down here and showing these kids like what they need to aspire to be? Like, I was like, man, you sound like a total jerk, in my opinion. Like, these guys are obviously trying to get up to that, but I mean, I don't know. I had a problem with the way he worded what he was saying.
Well, it's just an adult coming down to play with the 14U team and dominate and say, look, this is what you got to do, Holmes.
I mean, this is literally like, so they took MVP in baseball, put him in a high school league, and said, okay, have fun. Literally what they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. It chaps me a little bit when you see the Cup guys like come in and they like dominate. But I mean, like, obviously these guys are still trying to get up to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of chaps me because he was so like, I don't even know what the right word would be. I guess conceited. Conceited might.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like his attitude towards it, and I like Kyle Larson. I think he's a great racer in anything. I didn't like his attitude in that because he just seemed like he was just there to destroy their hopes and dreams and purposefully. You know what I mean? If it was one thing, he's like, "Yeah, man, I just like racing. You know, these guys are a good group of guys." That would have been different.
I get it. I get it.
That's my hot take on Larson going to these other series.
That's supposed to be his last time in the trucks, I believe.
Good.
This season.
They don't need. I kind of understand Xfinity. I don't think Cup drivers need to go down to truck. That's just my hot take.
I mean, it would make sense that they wouldn't be allowed down there. Let the Xfinity drivers drop down there every now and then.
No, that one's I get. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like they're taking opportunities for these lower class guys to build up and make the name for themselves.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Enough of my hot take. We can move on to the SciAps 300.
So,
I'll let you.
Going on there we are. Purse is a cool, same as the last 87,000 weeks. $1,651,939. Your pole winner, Mr. Kyle Larson, at number 17. We had one D&Q, which was the 66 of Tyler Tomasi. And actually, Dawson Cram in that 74 did not DNQ because they withdrew before qualification. But they will be back this weekend at The Rock. So, looking forward to that.
I am looking forward to that one.
Hopefully, they'll get in there because there still will be 2 DNQs, which we'll get to the entry list a little bit later. To the rear, we got a couple guys that had some unapproved adjustments. The 4 of Parker Retzlaff, the 16 of Christian Eckes, and the 53 of Mason Maggio.
Stage 1, Sam Mayer in the 41 won that one. Of course, Kyle Larson, like my previous gripe, decided to steal the show and take stage 2. Sorry.
I think it was something ridiculous. Like, he led 600 and some odd laps out of a possible, like, 900 or something like that.
Yeah, kind of the same thing with Cup. I mean, he led most of Cup.
Well, I'm saying, like, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
He led, like, 2/3 of the laps that were available.
I got you now. Yeah, sorry. I'm dealing with stuff right now.
Well, top 5 of Xfinity, of course, Mr. Kyle Larson, like you just mentioned, stole the show there. Carson Quaffle in the 1 came in 2nd. Your Dash for Cash winner, Mr. Justin Allgaier, and that number 7 machine came in 3rd. 4th went to Mr. Sammy Smith in the 8th, and the 20 of Brandon Jones capped off that top 5 in 5th place.
Yes, sir. Oh, Jesse Love in the number 2 went in 6th. Ryan Sieg in that 39 machine went 7th. Corey Heim in the 24 finished 8th. Christian Eckes in the 16 finished 9th. And Dean Thompson in the 26 finished 10th.
Your podcast favorites from the Xfinity series, at least. Mr. Fast Pasta Anthony Alfredo, that 42 came in 15th. So that's probably one of his better finishes this season so far. And then Matty D didn't fall too far behind, coming in 23rd in that 99 machine. And like we mentioned before, Kyle Larson doing Kyle Larson things, got the fastest lap on lap 106 with a 15.787.
Yes, sir. Now, moving on to the Cup, the Food City 500. I love this logo. Can I just point that out? Like it's
more retro than some of the teams that
did throwbacks.
Didn't do throwbacks.
Right. But let's talk about the poll. Oh, Bowman the Showman took the poll. First time in a hot minute we've seen his name up on a poll sheet. There were a couple of unapproved adjustments, so they went to the rear, and that was the 22 of Joey Logano and the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. And it was a Kyle Larson day, because not only take stage 1 or stage 2, if you guys watched it, you know how boring the race was, because even throughout stage 1, I think there was, 1 caution?
Oh, sorry.
No cautions. There were no cautions in stage 1. There was a spin in stage 2, and that was about it. So Kyle Larson held on and finished first, followed by Denny Hamlin in second, Ty Gibbs in third, Chase Briscoe in that top 5 finish in fourth, and just kidding, Ryan Blaney in fifth. I almost read the wrong name.
Willie B came in 6th place. Ross Chastain in 7th. Some new driver named Christopher Bell came in 8th. AJ Allmendinger getting that top 10. Coming in 9th. And then RCR car making a top 10 appearance. Mr. Austin Dillon taking that 10th spot. Xfinity fastest lap. Can you guess who it went to? Not Kyle Larson. AJ Allmendinger shook that up. Lap 396 with the 15.380.
It was a good week. It was a good week for the Dinger. Speaking of good, did you see that scheme that he ran? That sucker popped on track.
It was nice. The green was like extra on track. I liked it.
Oh, yeah. That sucker looked good. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's not on RS Cubed. I double checked.
Yeah. Sorry, bro. I'm not picking your scheme.
Yeah, well,
he thought he had the race scheme again.
yeah, I thought I
That's
did.
the one he was going to pick, but he's got the old one this week.
That's okay. I've got a better one for the old one.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the voices in my head picked it. So
You know what's funny? My daughter picked. So.
nice. So post race we had no issues. And then of course we can jump over. Nope. So we can jump over to our rookies though, if you want to. I guess we don't have to.
Well, let's hit that winless streak first. I keep forgetting to put this in the notes.
Well, let's see here. That's not the winless streak. There it is.
Mr. Kyle Larson moves up from having 2 races since his last win to now having 0 again. So not much of a shuffle up on that one. But if you look at Mr. Ty Dillon,
great. Well, it's great. The next race, Corey LaJoy will add another one to his winless streak.
I haven't been tracking part-time drivers though. I know you want to.
The only reason I tracked him is he should not have even been a part-time driver.
Yeah, well, he is. Now we can switch over to our rookies. Why is our live thing? There we go. Now I can switch over to all the rookies. Riley Erbst. Got 9 starts with no wins, no top 10s, no poles. As you know, he's Riley Erbst. He started 25th, moved back a few spots to 28th. He's now 33rd in points with 101 points.
Yeah. So SVG has 9 starts. He's got 1 top 10. That's about it. He started 36th, finished 38th, currently 34th in points with 98.
I'm beating you again.
Let's not talk about
it. Well, let's talk about RHPD Motorsports.
Yeah, we can talk about that one.
All right. So, my 2 drivers, Mr. Carson Hocevar, almost snagged himself a top 10. He was looking good this weekend. Started in 9th, finished just outside of the top 10 in 11th, which moves him up to 25th in the standings with 157 points. And Mr. Tyler Reddick in that 73 car started in 27th, finished in 18th, and is now 7th in standings with 274 points.
Yes, sir. Cole Custer in the 55 has 9 starts, and that's about it. He's currently 35th in points with 85 points. He started 33rd and finished 29th. Seabell, on the other hand, has 9 starts, 1 pole, 1 stage win, 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and a race win. 3 of them. He's currently 3rd in points with 305. And he started 7th and finished 8th.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. All right. You're ahead of me on that portion. But I think as a team, my half is doing better than your half. So, that being said, we done with that stuff. Let's,
yes, sir.
Go to trackside trends.
Moving back over to Corey LaJoy's race count. He's currently at 275.
Yeah, so Ty Dillon's only 20 away. Might catch up before the end of the season.
Catching up. But enough about Corey LaJoy. This is not a Corey LaJoy podcast. We're moving on to trackside trends, and this first NASCAR update, I ain't gonna lie, it's got me. I'm all right with it.
You want
The
to go back to
Cracker
Nashville?
Barrel. Huh?
You want to go back to Nashville? Do what samples
I
they
do.
bring to the track?
The old Cracker Barrel will sponsor the Nashville Super Speedway's NASCAR Cup Series race in June on Prime Video. So
Yeah. What was it last time we were there?
it was
Just
the
Ally something, wasn't it?
yeah, I
400?
think it was like the Ally 400.
That's right, yeah, because we got the cups and stuffed animals and stuff. That's right.
Yeah, hang on. I can tell you. Hang on.
I think he's still got it. No, this is the Liftmaster.
Yeah, it was the
Same
Ally
race.
400. Yeah, it was the Ally 400.
I figured.
I had the track car, so.
But something cool coming up. The Cars Tour is going to put on a new high-paying Throwback Classic on the pavement. Late model event with Flow Sports broadcasting it. Going to be at Hickory Motor Speedway, and it'll be in August. Date to be determined. With a total purse above $200,000. So for a late model, that's a pretty high purse.
Yeah. Speaking of a lot of money, NASCAR is seeking $10 million annually for rights fees to replace Xfinity, plus a mid seven-figure commitment to activation that would take the brand's per annum spend to at least around $15 million per seat sources. So
Pretty low penny. 15 million annually just to be the mid-tier title sponsor.
yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Well, that's about what they're getting from Xfinity. So we'll see. I'm sure somebody will jump in there.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't see them doing like they're doing for the Cup Series yet. Having multiple title sponsors or whatever. Could happen though. Team changes though. That's all the NASCAR updates we got. Going to team changes. Rick Ware Racing has a restraining order from Legacy Motor Club, which prevents them from entering into any kind of agreement for the Charter 27, which is that 51 cars charter.
Yes, sir.
They can't do nothing with it until litigation with Legacy is done with and decided.
On more happier news, Catherine Legg will compete in at least 7 NASCAR races throughout the remainder of the 25 season. Splitting time between Cup and Xfinity Series, she will compete at Rockingham this weekend and will return to the Cup Series at Mexico City. She will be behind the wheel of the 78 Elf Cosmetics Chevrolet for Live Fast Motorsports. So we're getting a woman back in.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll have a better run than her last appearance.
Well, she's already better than Danica, so.
I'd have them even. Anywho.
She's not as mouthy as Danica. I'd give her that one.
Yeah. Joey Logano making some waves since he
Speaking of mouthy drivers.
Right. Since he can't win a championship in odd years. The 3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion and a 3-time winner at Talladega Super Speedway, Joey Logano, will be inducted into the Talladega Walk of Fame later this month.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're not a Logano fan, huh?
Well, it's an odd year. He's got to make up for not winning the championship somehow, I guess.
That's fair. You ready to switch on over to our race day horizon?
Let's do it. We are cooking through this episode.
All right, so this week we're talking about Rockingham, going back to the Rock, baby. I am excited. And you know what Friday is?
Good Friday.
Not just Good Friday, but it's also Casey Kane Friday. You know why it's Casey Kane Friday?
Yeah, technically, he will be on track. No,
He's running the 33.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was trucks or Xfinity.
Xfinity. Running the old 33 HendrickCars.com car.
Well, then he won't be in a race until Saturday. He'll just be practicing on Friday.
Yeah, but it's still Casey Kane Friday.
Well, it's always Casey Kane Friday. Doesn't matter if he's racing or not.
No, that's true. Anyway, talking about Friday, April 18th at 10:30 a.m. ARCA East practice will be. I don't know if that one's gonna be televised.
I don't believe it is. There was no mention of anything.
Gotcha. But at 12:30, the truck practice and qualifying will be on FS2. The Xfinity practice will be on the CW app, and the truck race, the Black Tire 200, will be on FS1. The first stage is 45 laps. Second stage is 45, and the last stage is 110, where a total of 200 laps.
Yeah, and I know he didn't mention the times, but the times are on the screen there. The last two slots.
My bad. Sorry. For our listeners, it's 3:05 p.m. for the Xfinity practice and 5 p.m. for the truck race.
There you go. And on Saturday, the big day, got a double header going on.
Saturday.
Yeah, we don't have a sound for that.
I mean, I can play this part. Hang on. I got you. You ready? Yeah. Saturday.
Hang on, baby Jesus. This is going to get bumpy.
Yeah. Last second put together sound there. 9:30 in the morning is the ARCA East. I guess they get a little more practice, and then they go straight into qualifying. That also will not be televised, as far as I know. But at 11:30 in the morning, Xfinity qualifying on the CW app. Then at 1 p.m., you get your first race, which will be the ARCA East race. It's just the ARCA East 125. Nothing special, no fancy sponsors or nothing like that. But it'll be streamed on Flow Racing, and it is a total of, can you guess it? 125 laps. Well, that was in ARCA East 125. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
4 o'clock p.m., so just a couple or a few hours later, I guess, technically, not a couple, will be the Xfinity race. You ready for this tongue twister? The North Carolina Educational... Blah, 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 blah. See? Messed me up. North Carolina Education Lottery 250 presented by Black Tire. On the CW. First and second stages are 60 laps. The third stage is 130 laps for a total of 250 laps around the rock, baby.
Man, I wish I had $1 for every lap. Somebody just come give me $1 for each lap they run, I'd be all right.
Give me a quarter for each lap. All right.
You ain't lying. We do have some extra entries for the truck. That's the 07 of Sammy Smith, not Kyle Larson, Sammy Smith, and the number 1 of Brandon Jones.
Couple of Xfinity guys dropping down, and then
and gals.
What on the trucks?
I got what you're saying after I said that.
Goodness gracious, confusing me, child. Xfinity Series has 40 cars lined up, only for 38 spots, so 2 more people are going to DNQ. And yes, Mr. Dawson Cram is coming back to try again in that 74, so I'm assuming he will be one of them. But we do...
Throwing shade on Dawson Cram every week.
Right. What can I say? You do Dawson, got 2 notable drivers that are trying out there. The 32 of Catherine Legge that we mentioned earlier, and Casey Kane in that number 33. So I don't expect either one of those two not to qualify.
No, I think they're both to get in it.
Yeah. And obviously we have no cup entry this weekend because there's no race this weekend. But the next race on the docket for the Cup Series is Dega. And guess who's going to be there?
Probably all the drivers.
I would hope all the drivers are there, but I will be too.
Man, how mad would you be? You get there and there's like nobody there due to like last minute cancellation.
That'd be pretty crappy, to be honest.
I'd hate that for you.
All right.
All right. Well, that does it for our race day horizon. Now we can move on over to our slick scheme spotlight. Man, we are flying through this episode.
It's going to be a short one because we don't have that much to talk about. Bristol was boring as crap, so it didn't help out any.
It was. The snooze fest, bro. I hated that. Like,
we can have a short
Bristol's
episode. Maybe we'll have to condense our episodes to keep viewers around longer. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see how this one turns out. But we're going to jump over to S Cubed.
Yes, sir. All right, S Cubed is brought to you by Happy Hour Racing, your one-stop shop for all your NASCAR and F1 needs. Yes, I said NASCAR and F1. You can buy die-cast, your shirts, your hats, all your good stuff there. They got a pretty big inventory. They even got some stuff on clearance right now. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second. But when you go buy something, if you're like us and like spending money on NASCAR, you can use code RHPD with no extra cost to you, but you're supporting the podcast, and every little bit helps. This stuff is going to help us give out or do giveaways this year, which we already got a couple things lined up. Where very soon we'll be announcing some giveaway stuff, hopefully. It also helps us to do more things like to better the podcast for you guys, like get updated computers and stuff where we're not all kinds of trash. But so be sure to use that. Like I said, it's no extra cost to you.
But without further ado, I get this week's car, sir. Trying to steal my thunder.
I legitimately, like, all day I was like, man, I gotta send Voodoo my pick, and I straight up thought I had the one for this week. Like, it wasn't last minute. I had that one picked since like yesterday. I was like, oh, I gotta do this, and then I get busy, and then I wouldn't text you. And finally, you text me like, hey, you got your car for this week? And I was like, yeah.
We got to figure out how we're gonna do next week's because there's not gonna be a previous weekend. Do we both do old one or?
I got an idea. Okay. Let's both pick one from Xfinity. We'll pick an old Xfinity scheme and a new one.
Well, what if we it'll be your turn for. So what if you pick one from the Xfinity Rockingham race, and I pick a truck from the Rockingham race?
Ooh, that'd be a good one. I'd take that.
Yeah, change it up a little bit. But without that being done yet, that's next weekend. This weekend, I picked one from old
Mississippi boy himself,
Bristol. Yeah. So I had some help from my daughter, and she decided to pick old Ricky Stenhouse and his Sunny D car. So, I mean, I like it. It's Sunny D and it's orange. So, I mean, Ricky can't go wrong with that combination. But he started all the way up in second. Pretty impressive for him. Wasn't able to hold on to it though. Finished way back in 22nd. But it is a pretty car. He's ran it quite a few times. I think he's still going to see it a couple more times.
This car still gives me Kevin Harvick vibes.
You know, I went and looked at our S Cube list, and I was like, I could have swore we'd done a Sunny D car before. Mm-hmm. But I searched Sunny D on that list, and we have not done one.
I thought we did Harvick like at the beginning of the S Cubed.
It wasn't on the list.
That's why I haven't picked it, honestly, because I was going to pick it here a while back, and I was like, oh, no, we've done it. Because I remember doing it for Harvick, and it's essentially the same scheme.
Was not on the list.
Not bad.
But that's my fancy dancy scheme, thanks to my little auto over there.
Well, you had help with your scheme, and I did too. My wife helped me pick what scheme to do. And she scrolled for about 10 minutes, and we finally found one that we hadn't done before. And she was like, "Oh, let's do that one." I was like, "Okay."
We're about to hit like 125 and 126.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's not bad. She picked the 2008 Coca-Cola 600 at Lowe's Motor Speedway. You might see that 43 and like, "Oh, I wonder who ran that." I was kind of surprised. It's Bobby Labonte. And I mean, it's a nice looking car. Like, I ain't gonna lie, she did a good job. I would definitely put that on my shelf.
You know, it makes me want some Lucky Charms and some tricks and put them together in one bowl.
Ooh. On the other side, it's got some Cheerios, I think, on it.
I ain't worried about the Cheerios. That's too healthy.
But anyway, he didn't do too bad on this Coca-Cola 600. And of course, it was at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Or for all of you new listeners or new to NASCAR, Lowe's Motor Speedway is now named Charlotte because Lowe's pulled their sponsorship. Another fun fact, that is where the majority of the races for Talladega Nights were filmed. So you know. But he started 23rd and finished 11th, so right outside the top 10. Not bad. I like this car. Like I was looking at the diecast for it earlier, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of expensive. It's a little bit more expensive than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still sitting right at like $100.
Yeah.
But
this is really making me want some cereal, though.
Man, I know this sounds weird, and I'm gonna probably lose face value to some people for this. I don't like Lucky Charms. I can't stand the texture of the marshmallows.
And with that being said, we are going to shut down this episode, and we will never take part again. Thank y'all for joining us.
Like my girls, they can sit here and they'll eat the bag of marshmallows, but like those marshmallows for me are like biting into a Whopper. Have you ever bitten into a Whopper?
I have.
Like, you know, the malt balls. Ugh, I can't do it. Like it.
I like those too. So,
it's my tism. Is what my
probably
wife
don't like
just said.
the little robin egg things either, huh?
I like. Okay, I like to eat them, but I can't bite into them. So like I'll crack the chocolate off around them, and then I'll just suck on them until it dissolves. I like the taste of them, but I don't like the biting into them. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Like, I can't do it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Raise Hail, Praise Dale. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make us 128, a little closer to our goal of 300 at the end of the year. Go check out our socials. We have X, TikTok, all that good stuff. Instagram. I have been posting. You ought to be proud of me. I've been staying on that one.
Yeah.
But
if you want to be a certified Hellraiser and you've already clicked that subscribe button, I mean, if you haven't clicked it yet, you can go on and click it like you just said. But you can get certified Hellraiser merch now.
Yes, sir. We got some new merch
on our merch store right now.
Yes, sir. Also, we have some designs that we have not released yet that will be hopefully dropping pretty soon.
Yeah, we just gotta perfect the details a little bit.
All I'm gonna say is we're taking it back. Throwback weekend kind of had me in a phase, and I ain't gonna lie. One of these I'm gonna have to buy.
The good news is the certified Hellraiser is not only on t-shirts and a hoodie, but it's also on a hat.
Yeah, they released hats finally. So you can get, well, not this hat, but you get one that's
these are special to us.
Yeah,
one of a kind each. We may wind up giving away. Who knows? At some point in the future.
Maybe. It's got a lot of signatures on it, so
yeah.
That'll be a big giveaway. So
What else we got? Oh yeah, the fantasy league. It's an off week, so it gives you extra time to get your picks in. NASCAR.com. When you get on there, log in, search for Raise Hail Praise Dale podcast. Make sure you spell it HALE and add that podcast onto the end of it, or it is not our podcast. I'm going to ask you for a password because we do have a password on it. That password you can only get on this show is all lowercase RHPD2025. Nope, wrong. All lowercase RHPD2024. Sorry. See, even I mess up sometimes. He's rubbing off on me. Go ahead and get your picks in. I'm pretty sure Trash Can's still winning, but I am closing the gap on third place. I beat your wife again this week. So,
I just heard. I don't know if you guys heard in the background, but she wanted to remind you who's in second.
That's all right. I'm closing in on you every week. The last 3 weeks, I've been closing in on you.
Yeah, I have not been making good picks, which is fine.
I got extra time.
Yeah, her last one, it did revert hers. Like I watched her change them, but when it came to race time, like it had her old picks in it. Like I didn't actually change them. Sucked. So
excuses.
I don't know.
Anything else you got to say before we close this thing out?
Just a big thank you guys, all you Hellraisers out there. I know some of y'all jump in the show a lot. We do love it when you guys jump in the show. We love to hear your opinions. And here pretty soon, I'll be asking for those opinions, so don't be shy about it. Let's see here. What else is there? Tune in Wednesday or Thursdays, technically. I think this episode drops Thursday for our scheme scene, where we rate all these schemes from 1 lug to 5.
We won't have one this week, though, unfortunately.
No, but what it sounds like we were talking about before is there going to be a special episode dropping this week instead of scheme scene. So,
indeed.
So be on the lookout for that one.
Probably still drop at the same time as the scheme scene would normally.
Yeah. Be sure to go check out our TikTok where we post. It usually drops today, but I got busy this weekend, so I didn't get to record it, so it'll drop tomorrow.
All that bragging about posting on socials and forgetting to post on socials.
I have been posting on socials. I didn't forget. I've just been busy.
Excuses.
We're gonna be dropping a diecast distraction. It's gonna be a kind of a special one because I'm not gonna be the ones doing it. You sucker! You said that you were gonna do it. My wife is gonna do it, even though she's trying to crawfish out of it.
So do I just record like a video and send it to you so you can post it on ours?
Yeah, that's fine.
On the podcast one?
Yeah. I mean, either that or I can send you the login and stuff for it.
I don't know how to log into 2 separate accounts on one thing.
I think you can add it. Like, if you go into, like, accounts, and you can add an account where you can swap back and forth between them.
No, maybe. We'll see. We shall see. That's all I got.
I got. Whose turn is the outro?
It's mine, and I got a new one.
It's yours, isn't it?
We'll see see how this one sticks. You got a new one, so I felt I needed to give me a new one. I'm being a copycat, you know.
This is my neighbor.
All right. So that's the checkered flag for this week's show. Keep your engines revved, and we'll catch you next time, Hellraisers.